down Tyler. Come on down. All right, we're also going to bring down producer Lauren Gilbert.
Yay!
And Tyler's going to introduce the rest of the crew. Come.
Yes. We also have Dave Barton, our VFX lead artist, Adequate Productions. We also have Kendall Evans, who played Samantha in the movie. And we have Cruz Quinones, our first AD. There it is. Yeah, that's the day.
All right, terrific. Yeah. Oh no, that's okay. No, you keep the microphones.
Great.
I'll project. Yeah.
Sounds good.
So, boy, what a labor of love. And you talked about in the beginning about how you grew up and the influences and that sort of thing. So can you kind of talk to that again? And then also, what were your horror influences growing up?
Yeah, so I grew up in Texas as a pastor's kid outside of Houston, and my dad quit his job as a stockbroker one day and decided to start a church in our living room, and that kind of flipped our world upside down. And but there was this dream to have a church, and so we had one, and there's so many things I was not allowed to do, or like secular music is just any music that isn't Christian music. Pokemon was Pocket Monsters, totally demonic. Harry Potter, absolutely not. So that was the upbringing, and then I went to college, and my brain changed a lot, and just became a different person. And then went to film school, and so I sort of started channeling this into a script over the years, and it became that movie. So thank you so much for being here and watching it. And horror influences, until I was like, I guess I could say this. I was not allowed to watch any horror at all growing up, but like The Shining would come on like TNT sometimes, and I would catch a few minutes of it. And my parents had this whole thing about like, the eyes are the, conduit to the soul, and what you let in through your television could start to influence your reality. And so like, it was hardcore. Like when I saw Paranormal Activity, I was like, well, that's what could happen to me right now. Like, so horror was incredibly powerful. So my upbringing made it pretty intense. But, and I read the Left Behind series growing up. I was obsessed with those books. They're about the apocalypse, Christian young adult series, and I read 41 of those books, and super popular books, and so that's what Tribulation Squad is based on, and so this has all just been a big cathartic, like, the thing that I was the most afraid of as a kid, / looking forward to, because who doesn't want their youth group to also go on an adventure? That was like, I kind of wanted demons to invade and attack us so that I could save the day. And so this is sort of been a fantasy that I got to make as real as I could. Anyway, does that answer your question? I love Evil Dead.
I love it.
Yeah.
Great. That's a great answer. Great. And we also have our technical folks and also acting and getting the movie all put together. So questions from the audience. Okay, we'll start right here.
What does your family know about all of this?
My dad loves the movie. I'm lucky in that he's like, yeah, use me, make fun of me, whatever you gotta do, well, that's fine. And my mom, she's read the script, she's really into it, she still has to see the movie, but my grandma took some real convincing. The whole family had to like get on the phone with her and be like, the movie's not demonic itself, it just has demonic things in it. It's not gonna do anything bad to the world. And so she's an investor, and but she was like, do not put my name on this. And now I'm just telling people. Anyway, everybody else likes it in the family.
That's great. Great question. Yeah, other questions? Yeah, I want to talk about the FX side of things. Boy, I love the eyes, I love the makeup, and I love the tentacles coming in. It was just like crazy stuff. Can you all talk about putting that together?
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So we had a whole team. Patrick Zimmerman's name is all over this thing too, and he had a couple of compositors come in to help because there was just, I think we had about 350 VFX shots through the film.
Wow.
It was a lot, and so a lot of it was those compositing eye shots, and then I started working with Tyler before, 3 or 6 months before we started shooting, and so we spent a lot of time talking through kind of the visual language of the film and about those thematic choices about like the eyes being the windows to the soul, and
Yeah.
a lot about we talked a lot about Evil Dead, and Ghostbusters was another favorite of ours. One of the things that could slip through in an evangelical household, I feel like, was Ghostbusters VHSs.
Right. Yeah, Bill Murray's in it, right? So yeah, that's okay.
He's not demonic.
Right.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of, but with this being an independent film, and all the constraints that come with that, there was so much stuff that no matter how much planning we did, on the day of, there would always be something that we weren't expecting, some time constraint or constraint of the location. And so there's a lot of figuring that out on foot and figuring out how to basically just best tell the story with what we had at our disposal. And yeah, really happy with how it all turned out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I told Tyler that he should go the George Lucas route, and in 20 years we crack it back open, we do the new VFX pass on it.
Right. That's right.
Add in a speeder bike.
We'll talk again.
Yeah, other questions? Yeah, right up there.
How long did it take and where was it filmed?
We shot it in 11 days, mostly in Burbank, California. We live in LA and work in the TV business in our day jobs, and just made this in our spare time. We took 2 weeks off and shot it in 11 days and had a few pickup days. I mean, overall, I guess if your question is like the whole thing, I started working on the script in like 2019, worked on it for a couple of years. I moved back to Texas for 6 months to save money for the movie, and did a seed and spark, and everything took forever. And then we finally shot the thing in a couple weeks, and then it was like 7 months of me editing it, and then the last 9 months working on VFX and everything, and music and sound mix and all that, and the color. I don't know, 5 years, whatever that comes to.
Wow. Day job. That's terrific. Other questions? Yeah, right here.
How'd you go about finding all the actors for the movie?
A lot of them were friends. Well, Kendall can speak to that because one of the cast, Kendall, who played Samantha in the film, is here. A lot of them were people that we worked with before. Brandon had shot a sketch with us like 2 years before that. Alyssa was like we have some roots in the LA comedy scene, so a lot of those people we had worked with before were at UCB with you, or had worked on television shows with us, and they knew us already. But there were a few folks that we found through backstage casting.
Russell.
I don't know if you Peyton we found through backstage, Miguel, Russell. Yeah.
Who, by the way, shout out to his in-laws are here. Thanks for coming. And
Wait, really?
yeah.
Okay.
I
Hi.
know. They're just like,
Hi.
you never-
He was so good. And then I don't know if you all know who Tuesday Night is, but she was in Night on Elm Street 4.
It's true.
I forget, is it the Dream Warriors or no?
That's the third one.
That's the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I should know this by now. What?
The Dream Child or the Dream Master?
Dream Master.
Master.
That's what it is. I should see. I'm ashamed of myself. I should have known that. But yeah. She reached out to us actually, and we were really excited to have her for the day that we did. So.
Oh, great. And then is this your first horror movie that you've starred in? Or?
Yeah, this is my first horror movie. In like an ensemble cast. Yeah, it's my first one, a horror comedy. I just auditioned, and Tyler had a great vision of, he kind of mirrored Samantha off of a character on Millie on Freaks and Geeks, and that happens to be one of my favorite shows from Paul Feig and Judd Apatow, and is one of my favorites growing up. And yeah, I just auditioned, and I loved the arc of the character because I feel like it's a very much so ensemble comedy. And yeah, I auditioned, and Peyton and Erica and Miguel and I really gelled, and the set and the location in the house that we were in Burbank, I feel like that really like pulled everything together as well. It just made it feel very a little, not super sinister, but a little more spooky, and it put us all in like we just gelled very quickly, and it I don't know, it was great. And hope to be in more. We'll see.
Very cool. Other
George
questions?
Stokes is the homeowner, and he's here tonight as
Shout out
well.
to George.
So, and he let us film there for 5 days.
Right.
We took over his life, put his cats out quite a bit. So we
Oh,
appreciate it.
the cats were a little.
They
freaked
were
We're
upstairs.
locked in a bedroom.
Oh, like,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, question in the back.
Yeah, two questions. How many days did you have to apply the makeup? And were the actors' talent wearing contacts, or was that all FX?
Let's try hours rather than days, because the makeup was a marathon, honestly, because we had to break out the schedule. Most of the schedule constraints were around the makeup, because any scenes where cast were in makeup, we had to time it out specifically, and it took anywhere between like 1 to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Minimum, yeah. I guess Cruz, you would know because you had to schedule it. You wanna?
You want to speak to the timing, the scheduling?
Oh yeah, the timing and the scheduling. So we shot this in 11 days, and I don't think we had a single day that was under 12 hours. I'm pretty sure that every day was 13.
One day.
One day. Yes, we had one day that was under 12. Every other one was 13 plus. And so makeup was a thing that we knew going into it that we would have to plan time for, and we did. But we were also shooting upwards to 11 to sometimes 15 pages a day. So that made it very difficult. You know, you want to budget about an hour for each page is like the loosey-goosey rule. So we were giving ourselves a lot to do. And with makeup, you also have to take into account that there's regular makeup that every actor and actress gets. So sometimes we'd have to ask them to, oh, can you do like your makeup on, like right before you come into work? That'll save us 30 minutes for your character. We could add that 30 minutes to this demon character.
Yeah.
And so you're juggling all that at the same time in order to get our timing in right.
I also noticed when the credits were going up, Tyler, you have music credits, right? I thought I saw your name in some of the songs.
Yeah. So with finding Russell Spurberg, who is our music, what's that? G Money, yeah. You guys know G Money? Yeah, so I wrote some of those songs, and then I just put them on Backstage as like, here's a song, and then people would just submit versions of the song, and Russell came up with it. Like, he wrote the music. He just like, I gave him zero guidance on what to do, and he just made this beautiful song. And so, yeah, I mean, I obviously grew up in the church with a lot of praise and worship music, and so it's just like, how can I do a version, like a parody version that isn't so over the top, where it can kind of, you kind of have to like listen closely to the words to know that it's a joke.
Right.
And so, yeah, that was really fun and cathartic, and yeah.
It really came out in the end credits too. Did y'all catch that? We were laughing. I don't remember the line, but it was really funny. And right before that, I go, wait, did Tyler write that? Yeah, he did.
Other people worship false gods. I'm so glad my parents knew the real one.
Right.
Well, that's an undercurrent of a lot of the songs.
Right. That's terrific. Yeah. Other questions?
I was worried about the music. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was really worried about the music, but I think Russell like brought an element to it that like really it made it real. And I will just say that's the funniest parts of all of the songs in the film did not make the final cut. So we should definitely release the soundtrack because some of the outtakes are pretty good too.
It had an 80s feel too, at times too, which is really came through. Yeah, so bringing up soundtracks is great. Yeah, other questions for our films?
Sorry, I just wanted to quickly answer the question. All the eyes were all VFX. That was the bulk of those 300 shots.
Oh yeah, there were nothing was physically on their eyes. It was all VFX.
Geez, it looked great because it really looked tremendously real.
Yeah,
I
great
I'll
team.
say thank you, but it was Patrick. He did those.
Link that too.
You did some of them.
So what's next for the film?
We are going to Poppy Jasper Festival in Gilroy, California next week. And we're playing 2 more times here in Phoenix, next Friday morning and next Saturday night. So if you have any other people at the festival or friends in town that might like this, let them know.
We'll be in Seattle.
And we just found out we're going to Seattle, Crypticon Festival, somewhere May 3rd through May 5th. And then we figure out distribution at some point. we're talking to people, but nothing is in stone at the moment. And yeah, it feels, because the movie's set on Halloween, we're like, do we release it in October? But we have festivals in October,
Right.
and we don't want to be disqualified, so we're sorting all that out, honestly.
Oh, terrific. All right. Hey, thanks for being a great audience.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for being a great panel. Oh, you're welcome. Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, you're welcome to the next two screens. Yeah. Great job. Yeah, appreciate it. Oh, of course. Yeah. Oh, it's been a really It's great. That's so great. Like, to me, it's has 80s feel.
Yeah.
And so that dance off thing really kind of.
We love the Evil Dead trilogy, and
Yeah.
a lot of it was very inspired by that, and just silly horror.